Liberty is a track that didn't have a name for a very long time until about a month before we put it out, until about a week ago. So Liberty is a track that I made a very long time ago. It was a lot slower. It was 116 BPM and it sounded terrible. Absolutely terrible in every sense. But I like the melody. This was a tricky one to make because basically vocals would be very difficult to work with this track, and I'm very aware of that. I'm aware that this track probably won't do as good as a track with vocals, and I'm perfectly fine with that, but I wanted to get this one out because I like the melody, I like the bounciness, I like the vibe of it, and other people, when I post it on my Instagram, liked it as well. So I knew that if I liked it, someone else will also agree with me and think that it's half decent. But the track's very simple. It starts with the pianos. And it's just a Labs piano that I've changed, and the chord progression changes, and at the end of the chord progression I've got like these grace notes here that just take the track from a very floaty stage, very like bare stage, like a serious change where more pianos come in, more layers come in, and the track actually starts progressing through a storyline, which sounds like this. And that just helps flow it. If I take it out, it sounds terrible. Listen to this. Just adds so much spice in there and it's crazy. And then the chords come in and I've layered it with bass lines and this funky bell that I made in Logic. Loads of different things, sounds like this. So that piano melody was really important for me because I felt like this is the main part of the track where you hear the that was really important. That almost became the lead melody because I liked it so much, but it's good to have a melody that I feel like helps. I mean, if there's no melody there, no one's going to care about the track, are they? Let's be honest. And then we get into the build-up part. You can hear the lead melody is actually muzzed, as they would say in the photography world, but I've just filtered it down basically, and it's filtered back up for the drop. And you can see all of these layers here. How many layers we got here? We've got 9 layers here, all for the lead melodies. And then there's a bit of tremolo here. I love a bit of tremolo. Second half of the drop, you've got the claps, the toppers. You see lots more happening down here. Bringing that Labs piano back in, and with the 2 grace note link, I've basically changed the 2 notes that link the second part of the track, so you know it's a different part of the track. And this part is where the old mandolin comes in. I've got to find it now. It is in here somewhere. Mandolin, here we go, this thing. Side chain to the kick. It's such an important part of this song, that mandolin. I mean, it's in the start as well, in like the opening chords, and it's in the middle, and it's in the end as well. It's a very Asian sounding instrument. I don't actually know where it comes from. Let me give it a quick Google so it looks like I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've just Googled it. It's actually from Italy, according to Google. So me saying this is linked to Asia might be complete rubbish, but you associate this sound with sort of Asian music all the time when you hear, you know, sort of classical, ambient Asian music. That is incredibly niche. But you know, when you hear that sort of music, you imagine a mandolin being played, and that's why I have a mandolin in this track, because it changes the perspective of the track and it makes it different. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make this track different. This is not going to be a club filler. This is just going to be me playing around, seeing what works. You wouldn't normally put a mandolin in a dance track or an electronic track, but I have. I'm trying to change my sound up and experiment with different sounds and different styles, and this mandolin definitely helps with that. And it also links into the music video, which will be up here somewhere, that my friend Bilal Booney has made, and Bilal and I studied together. Go and watch the video, and go and watch the story behind that video, if that even makes sense. I did a video explaining why he made that video. Anyway, back to the track. So the mandolin is there, and I've also reversed the mandolin, as you can see here a couple of times. That sounds like this. And the lead melody actually is very, very simple. If you listen to it in isolation, there's nothing crazy going on here. Basically, it's that square lead that I've changed quite a bit of. Saw waves. This guitar fuzz, I love that guitar fuzz. I don't even know if it's called guitar fuzz, but I've called it guitar fuzz. It sounds very funky, and I've used it in another track that will be coming very soon, which I teased on my Instagram. So go and check that out. So the melody is pretty simple, but it's very bouncy, which is what I wanted. And I haven't really made sort of like a bouncy, like, I don't think Bouncy Bob is a genre, but you know the song Bouncy Bob by Martin Garrix is very bouncy. This is not really like that, but it's, in terms of rhythm, it's quite a bouncy song. And I wanted it to be different, as I've said before. So this is different. Another important part of this track is the bass line. If you listen to the bass line in isolation, I've actually got a layer which is pitching up quite significantly. Yeah, so every note it's going up. Pitching it up. Basically changing the MIDI to pitch up. In context, it sounds much better. I know that sounds very strange, and if anyone can actually hear me in this house, I think I'm a lunatic. But in my head, it sounds good, and in the track, it just helps it. I've never really wanted to make like a fat bass line. I've never really been one to throw in like a bass line that's just sort of gritty and dirty and really hardcore, because I don't think that suits my style. But I'll put it in where it's necessary and sort of tone it back a bit. But this is not like a gritty bass, it's kind of smooth. But the pitching, it definitely helps, and I've tried that. I put that in Back to Life as well, where the 808 is pitching up at the end of the bar. There's always a segment in my videos where I play the drums and instruments on their own, so I'm going to play this for you because it's always a hit. The only other thing that I will say is that I've got this counter melody that comes in the second half of the final drop, which I just put in just to help push it forward and make it stand out and be different, because this is what we're doing. We're trying to be different here. In fact, in isolation, this sounds pretty terrible, but in concept to the track, it sounds okay. On its own, it sounds awful, but if I mute this, you'll hear the difference. Now bring it back in now. Can you hear that? I hope you can. Mandolin to end the track. And that 2-note link, plus my reverses up here. I've got a lot of reverses of the chords, of the leads, of everything pretty much, plucks. I almost forgot, I don't even know how I forgot this. The arpeggio, arp, as I've put it in here, sounds like this. This made it from the very, very early version of the song to the final version. I think it's in here somewhere. I think it's in this one here. You can hear it. That made it 2 years later from the terrible version that I did originally until the final version. So I guess that's an achievement somehow. I didn't go too over the top with this track, but I hope you appreciate this is a different track. I'm really trying out different sounds and different ways of making music, and this was an important track to get out for me because I liked it, and I knew if I liked it, then it might resonate with some other people. But it will definitely make a lot more sense if you go and watch the music video. I know I've plugged it before. Stop this video right now, click up here and watch the music video. Bilal has pushed the boundaries and pushed the limits of what is possible in a video. It is a crazy, crazy experience of him traveling around Asia with this track in the background. Go and watch it, it's insane. But that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the very near future. Ciao.